He bought the painting for $5, just because the street vendor looked hungry. The old janitor didn't care about art. He just wanted to help. But when he took the frame home and wiped the dust away, something strange caught his eye. A torn corner hiding a folded note sealed with wax. The handwriting looked old, but familiar. When he read the first line, his hands began to shake. To my father, whom I never stopped loving. That night, he realized the painting wasn't just decoration. It was destiny returning after years of silence. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe. Arthur Mills was 71, a man life had quietly forgotten. He worked as a night janitor in an abandoned museum slated for renovation. His days were simple: mop floors, lock doors, and leave before sunrise. No family, no photos on the walls, no visitors. Years ago, Arthur had a wife and a little boy named Evan. But after his wife's death, grief swallowed him whole. He turned to drinking, missed birthdays, and one day Evan left for art school, never to return. Letters stopped coming, and so did hope. One cold Sunday morning, Arthur wandered through a flea market just to feel less alone. Among piles of rusted tools and broken clocks, he noticed a small painting, a sunset over a lake. The seller, a young woman in a red jacket, smiled. $5, old man? It's nothing special. Arthur saw something in it, not beauty, but peace. He pulled out a crumpled $5 bill and bought it. Back home, in his one-room apartment, he set it on the table. The frame was cracked. Dust clung to its corners. When he wiped it with his sleeve, a small flap of paper peeked out. He frowned, tugged gently, and a hidden envelope slid free. His name was written on it. Arthur Mills. His hands trembled. The world around him seemed to blur. He hadn't seen his name written like that in years, in handwriting he thought he'd never see again. Inside, his son's voice waited. Arthur unfolded the letter with trembling fingers. The paper was yellowed and soft, the ink slightly faded, written years ago. At the top corner was a small signature, Evan Mills. He swallowed hard. The first line read, "Dad, if you ever find this, it means fate still wants us to talk." Arthur's eyes filled instantly. The letter continued. Evan wrote about leaving, about being angry at his father, about chasing dreams across cities that never cared who he was. "I painted this the day I finally forgave you," the note said. "It was raining. I thought about your old mop bucket and how you used to say, 'Some stains only go away with time.' You were right." Arthur pressed the letter to his chest. Every sentence cut and healed him at once. He hadn't realized how much he'd missed hearing from his son, not through words, but through the voice behind them. At the bottom of the letter, Evan had left coordinates, an address written neatly, Hope Gallery, Main Street. Arthur whispered, "Hope. It's still there?" He stood up, heart pounding. He hadn't been to that part of town in 15 years. His knees ached, his back screamed, but something stronger than pain pushed him. Purpose. He folded the letter, slipped it into his jacket, and picked up the painting. That night, as the city lights flickered through the rain, the old janitor walked toward the gallery, not as a cleaner, but as a father chasing ghosts. The next morning, Arthur reached Hope Gallery. The sign was faded, the windows cracked, but the door still stood. Inside, the air smelled of dust, paint, and time. Paintings lined the walls, lakes, sunsets, faces of strangers, and one portrait that froze him in place. It was a young man with kind eyes and a familiar smile. Evan. He moved closer. Beneath the portrait, a plaque read, "Evan Mills, 1985-2010. Gone too soon but never forgotten." Arthur's breath caught. No. His knees gave way. He clutched the floor, tears soaking the dusty wood. His son was gone years ago. A voice interrupted softly. "You knew him?" Arthur turned to see a woman in her 30s, the gallery's caretaker. "He was my son," Arthur whispered. The woman covered her mouth. "You're Arthur?" She led him to a back room. On a table lay a wooden box labeled "For my father." Inside, another letter waited. Arthur opened it. "If this ever reaches you, Dad, I want you to know I finally understood. Life breaks people in different ways. You weren't weak, just human. I sold my favorite painting to keep this gallery alive. I left this for you because I believed someday you'd come back." Arthur wept openly. The woman smiled sadly. Your son talked about you every week. He said you'd find your way home one day. Arthur looked up at Evan's painting, all sunsets, all forgiving light. The caretaker handed him one more canvas, wrapped carefully in brown paper. He told me to give you this if you ever showed up. Arthur unwrapped it slowly. Inside was another lake painting, the same one he'd bought from the flea market. But this one had something extra. 2 figures in silhouette sitting together on the dock. A father and a son. In the corner, Evan had signed his name and under it one line. For Dad, I found peace in your shadow. Arthur stared at it for a long time. The silence of the room filled with everything he wanted to say. The caretaker said softly, he wanted you to know he forgave you before he passed. He said forgiveness was his last painting. Arthur placed his trembling hand over the image of the father. You did forgive me, son, he whispered. And now I can forgive myself. He bought the painting, again, but this time for his heart. As he walked home, the sunset looked exactly like the one on the canvas. The world, for the first time in years, felt warm again. At home, he hung the painting on his wall, placed the letter beside it, and whispered, "Welcome home, Evan." Outside, rain began to fall softly, the same sound his son once loved to paint. Weeks passed. Arthur visited Hope Gallery often, sometimes just to sit and look. He started volunteering, cleaning floors again, but this time for love. He greeted visitors, telling them about the artist who painted forgiveness. One evening, a teenage boy came by, staring at the same painting Arthur had once bought. It's beautiful, the boy said. Arthur smiled. It is. How much you got? The boy hesitated. Only $5, Arthur chuckled. That's just enough. He handed him the painting gently. Sometimes art doesn't need a price. It just needs to be seen. As the boy left, Arthur looked up at the ceiling, and for a moment, he could almost see his son smiling through the fading light. The janitor who once had nothing now had everything. A reason to live, and a legacy of love. Moral: sometimes, life hides forgiveness in the most unexpected places. A letter, a painting, a quiet moment. Arthur learned that you can't go back and fix the past, but you can face it with love. Because time doesn't erase guilt, only forgiveness does, and love always finds its way home.